And we're live. Today on the Cristopolis show, I have the honor of interviewing Pro Dillinger. One of the nicest in the game. His voice is incredible. His pen is real. And he just released a new album called Reasonable Dirt that has completely leveled him up to the next level. In addition to his impressive discography, he's co-creator of the Umbrella Collective, one of the nicest hip-hop groups in the underground at the moment. We're going to bring him in and talk to him about his impressive discography, his new album, the Umbrella Collective, and what he's got coming next. Let's bring him in.
Peace.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Hey, it is truly an honor. Listen, Reasonable Dirt, you was not messing around. You said I'm coming in 2024, not playing any games. Talk to us about the new album, the cover, the meaning, right? The play on, I think, Reasonable Doubt, right? Let's talk about it.
Well, but before we get into the interview, I want to start it off by saying, today I lost two very close friends, two very close people to me, so I want to say rest in peace to my brother Jahad Muhammad, and rest in peace to the big homie Supreme Allah, you know what I'm saying? I just want to start by saying that, and that this interview I'm dedicating to those two gentlemen that I lost today. So Reasonable Dirt, man, it's just it's a project that I had in mind for a while. Obviously Reasonable Doubt is one of my favorite projects ever. It should be one of everybody's favorite projects. So basically I find myself in that same space where I feel like Jay-Z was at that point, you know what I'm saying? Where like I'm looking more towards the future, the brighter things and the finer things in life, but I'm still where I'm at right now, So I thought that was it was poignant to me. I felt like it was necessary, and so rather than do a play on Reasonable Doubt or like try to recreate it, I just made my version of it, It took me 7 days. I wrote and recorded the whole project in 7 days. Yeah. My cousin RG, he took the picture of me, the photo of me for the cover.
Yeah.
My man Wolf did the art layout, you know what I'm saying? And it just came together really nice. The whole project was beautiful. My man Sean Kelly produced it. This is the second time I worked with him. So I thought it was dope, man. I was excited to see the responses about it. I thought people were gonna respond negatively because maybe thinking like I was trying to be Jay or trying to remake a classic, and that wasn't it. I was just trying to make my own version of that album.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I was, successful at it,
Yo, it's a dope album. Catching an artist, yourself, at the top of this game. Listen, I want to make sure that we acknowledge how you opened it up and the loss you had today. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to continue in the questioning without saying sorry for your loss. And thank you for wanting to still do the interview and be there for your fans and the people who love your work. And so that being said, I just want to say sorry for your loss and yeah, you got my respect and so that being said,
and just to piggyback off that and to build on that more, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to seem say it's not just my loss, everybody loved them dudes, you know what I'm saying? Everybody loved Hottie, you know what I'm saying? My whole hood lost somebody, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Supreme, we all lost them, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't want to just be like, damn, sorry for my loss, because it's everybody's loss, because them dudes was good dudes, you know what I'm saying? It was good dudes.
Yeah.
They was good dudes, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to make it my business to honor my obligation to you, and the people that enjoy my music and make sure that, I remain professional even through the worst of times, because even though all this shit's going on, I'm still humbled to be here. I'm still humbled and honored that people want to interview me and hear what I got going on and listen to me talk, like that shit means a lot to me. So I want to make sure that I honor those obligations and I remain like respectful towards my line of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you, bro. No, I
And and
appreciate
and,
that.
re- and respectful of your time too, because you taking time out your schedule to talk to me. You feel me?
Hey, it's an honor to interview you, my bro, and I appreciate that so much.
Word.
I want to give this body of work that you created its proper attention. So I'm
Mm-hmm. Of
circle back. I'm gonna circle back to Reasonable Dirt because it's such a special project,
course.
and and I think that maybe like a good segue to kind of like ease us into that conversation, somewhat related to what we're talking about, but not directly right into this magnum opus that you created, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could talk to us about like where you're from, where this pro Dillinger sound was born, you know what I'm saying, and the neighborhood and everything, because that's a little bit related about what we were talking about. Now you're from New York, right? So I'm right
Yeah.
now live in downtown LA, right? You're on the other side of the country. Can you tell us a little bit about what part of New York you're from and what it's like?
I'm from Haverstraw, New York. It's a little town off the like right on the banks of the Hudson River. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? On one side is the river, one side is the mountain. So it's like a very isolated town. I'm like 40 minutes outside New York City.
yeah,
So not upstate, but I'm not in the city.
yeah,
Um, we in Rockland County. It's a very unique place to be from. I feel like my whole sound came from here.
yeah,
My influences, like where I'm from, it's a lot of Hispanics and shit. I'm half Puerto Rican, half black,
yeah,
so I'm heavily influenced by like, Latin music and whatnot. And in my spare time, I don't even, I listen to
yeah,
Spanish music. I don't listen
yeah.
to rap. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
So, um, yeah, that's how my town is. I used to be like real involved out here, like as far as like the street dealings and
yeah,
shit, and now I'm more or less focused on the music and just staying out the way of the other shit. I just do music now, so that's what
yeah,
everybody respects it too. I pretty much get left alone out here.
yeah. I imagine, you're probably to some extent, I know what you are outside in the world of hip hop, but in your local neighborhood, you're probably like a hometown hero, I imagine, with all the noise you're making.
It depends on who you ask. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
To some people I'm a hero. To some people I'm a villain.
mm,
Depends on who you talk to. But yeah, I could see that. I could feel like I could feel my town starting to get behind the movement and the energy that I'm bringing to the table right now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know, I I could feel things changing for me, um, in a sense, but I don't particularly I don't see it because I'm in the eye of the storm. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Everything to me is just like this. Like
yeah,
I don't see everything what's happening. I'm just going. I'm just moving. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, yeah, I have a lot of people, that hit me up recently, like, dudes that wouldn't normally hit me up that are telling me like to keep going, I'm proud of you, bro. You're making the town look good, you're making the county look good, I'm getting a lot more positive feedback more than ever at this point. So I must be doing something right.
yeah. The you know, I'm out in LA now, but I'm originally from DC, right? I lived my whole life, my whole existence in DC, and I'm a transplant. I'm new out here, pursuing my craft.
Right,
And in DC, DC and Baltimore a little bit, they're like right beside each other.
right. The whole
It's kind of like one of those
DMV.
spots. Yeah, it's that whole little kind of Baltimore's not really considered the DMV, but it's like that whole kind of DMV area. It's all, and dope, incredible area, a lot of talent. But whenever they pop off, whenever an artist pops off, historically they dip out to New York because it's close, or they come out to LA. That's been kind of like what happens all the time, right?
Hmm.
Have you given that, man, you're like, for me, and I know for a lot of people that really love hip hop, they really see you and the umbrella and everything that y'all have been doing as like this is a movement. This is like and I don't want to necessarily compare you to anybody because I don't think it's comparable. But we've seen movements come through hip hop in the past, and now we watch series on Netflix of things that they've done, and like so. Have you thought about, with New York being so close, or maybe even go somewhere new and come out west? Have you thought about making a move like that? Or do you want to stay where you're from and kind of do it like that? Maybe like how Cats in Buffalo did.
Nah, because the goal is to expand. We want to expand the market.
Yeah,
like Scarface said. You know what I'm saying? All major cities: New York, Chicago, L.A.,
yeah,
Detroit. Richmond, Virginia. We're
yeah,
trying to go wherever they'll have us. And right now I'm planting flags in different cities. Even different
yeah,
countries. Because eventually that's the move, is to take our gospel and spread it. You know,
yeah,
um, it's an honor, honestly, for me to be for my team to be compared to Wu-Tang and Griselda
yeah,
and these other popular movements that were very important in hip hop. It's humbling because we did all of this, and I say it in every interview. We did all of this shit with no budget, no cosigns for no big artists, no major help. Just us. Hard
yeah,
work, dedication, and just taking the stairs.
yeah,
There's no shortcuts to this shit. Everybody thinks there's an elevator. I've been
yeah.
taking the stairs for 6 years. 6 years later, we one of the most respected movements in the underground scene. But in the grand scheme of things, nobody knows us. So
Mm,
of course, I want to expand the brand beyond this little corner that we're in right now, the abyss they call it.
yeah.
I wanna bring my brand of music to more ears,
Mm,
because I feel like there's a lot of people that can relate to my music. And if you can't relate to my music, there's somebody in my team that you can relate to.
that's good. That's good.
We got something for everybody.
Yeah, no, you guys have one of the most talented, if not the most talented squad. You know what I'm saying? Um, Talk to us a bit about the umbrella collective. How it started, who started it, kind of how it expanded. I know that that's a big story, but maybe you can kind of break it down for us.
So basically, I was by
Yeah,
myself. You know what I'm saying? I had a before this, I was like, I had traction in rap before this, before
yeah,
the umbrella, a few different times, but I would never keep going. I would
yeah,
stop. You know what I'm saying? Or I would get in trouble with the law, or I would get caught up like with the money shit, trying to get money, and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I would stop. I never gave myself the chance to really be taken seriously, because after a year or two I would stop, and then I would stop for like 3 years.
yeah,
But so like 6 years ago, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna stop for good. So my wife at the time, she was like, yo, just do one more. You know what I'm saying? But do it the way you like. Do the music you want to make. And
yeah,
if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And then you could chill, right?
yeah,
So I did this one more project. I had a friend of mine from up here that was connected with BSF, and he was gonna help me get the project to bigger ears, right?
yeah,
I made the project way ahead of schedule, and I put it out by myself. I didn't want to wait for
yeah,
nobody, so I put it out by myself, and I so just kind of to show my man too, like I don't need no hands, no handouts. I'm already doing this shit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So whatever you talking about doing with me is only adding to what I'm doing. You
yeah,
feel me? So they were impressed that I went about it that way, and I put my own money up for everything. I sourced my own artwork, shit like that,
yeah,
and boom, I threw my first project out there. In the midst of that, I had found Snotty. I found Snotty's music. I was like, I was diving into the scene. I was falling down a rabbit hole because I didn't know that the scene
yeah.
still existed.
It's deep.
Because right now, check me out. Like I don't know. I'm older. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I'm from like Stretch and Barbito
yeah,
era. You know what I'm saying? When they had the radio show on at like 2 in the morning and shit like that. Like, so I remembered a lot of these cats from back then, from when I was listening. And I was like, damn, these niggas are still doing it. So I went deeper down the rabbit hole. I found Snotty. Me and Snotty started working together. We got real close, right? And we was on the same label. My label's 19 Entertainment. So Snotty came to my
Yeah.
label, right? But we didn't have no resources. So long story short, we was like, yo, you know, what if we put together our own team, but with everything we need? Producers, artists, rappers, graphic designers. That we don't need nobody to do nothing
Yeah.
no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. You know, we recruited some heads. You know what I'm saying? Artists, graphic designers, other producers, other rappers, and that first version of the umbrella was born. You know, and we did that out of necessity, not because we were trying to compete with nobody or nothing. We just didn't want to ask for handouts, and we didn't want to beg for nobody else's
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
So we created our own, you
Yeah.
know, our own self-sustaining unit, you know, our own ecosystem within an ecosystem, you know.
Yeah.
Um, you know, we made our own cool table, you know what I'm saying? Or with misfit kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we're the cool table, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to sit with us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope, man. That's the true hip hop spirit, man. That's how hip hop was born. You know, it came out the rubble, like that documentary talks about. You know what I'm saying? It came out the rubble.
It
And
was
that with
born from
it's
necessity.
born out of necessity. It was born out of like people did not have instruments. They were dying in the streets because of the gangs in the streets, and that's how breakdancing was born. You know, and it's so beautiful to me now. Hip hop is so massive, and you've got, you know, Burger King commercials and like all these items, and it's like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And you know, people look beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fly. But that real hip hop, where you don't need to ask permission, and you could go tell your story. And with today's technology, you can make things happen not only around the country but around the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
Right.
dope what y'all did, man.
And the beauty of doing it the way that we did it is like we don't have to ask permission. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We don't have to go through nobody's networks. We don't have to holla at nobody before we drop or consider anybody else's drop date or
Yeah,
none of that. We got our whole system is set up to where we move on our time and we do what we got to do.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, I want to be considered like a RZA, you know, like an orchestrator, you know, like I put something incredible and timeless together that will last forever, you know, and even if I'm not a part of it, you know what I'm saying? Like I created something that's timeless,
yeah,
that will last forever. You know what I mean? And the more I put in the work now, the longer it'll go forever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That umbrella is gonna be like that Woo W one day. You're gonna see little kids walking around with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you're gonna see dudes tattooing that shit. There's a dude in Canada that got this shit tattooed on his neck, the umbrella.
that's so
Like
dope.
that shit's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
something timeless
yeah,
forever.
yeah, yeah. It's a dope logo. Who created the logo?
My man Dark Arts created the logo, 13 cover art, you know. Shout to Mickey Diamondz. He's the one that thought of the logo.
Yeah,
He thought of the logo,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Dark put it together and
yeah.
it came out incredible.
It came out incredible, dude. And I think you're right. I think that logo, because you know, there's the collective and there's the music of the collective, but then there's also what you're describing, which is the spirit of a do-it-yourself. We're not going to ask permission. We're doing this brothers in arms, and we're going to make this happen. That's all kind of connected to that logo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the umbrella, you know what I'm saying? We all under that, you know what I mean? The gun is protecting us, the umbrella protecting us, you know, it's that shit is very meaningful to
yeah,
me, that logo.
yeah. Super, it's super dope. Y'all were recently out in Richmond at the Charged Up Fest, right?
Uh-huh.
That's dope, man. I would have loved to have been there. Are y'all planning, you know, because you have such a talented squad, right? So, you know how you were saying, like, even if somebody's not feeling your music, they're gonna feel somebody's music, right? Even though I'm pretty sure if you love hip hop, they'll be feeling you. Are y'all thinking about doing something like organizing like a tour, doing, maybe like a region together as a squad, the roster's crazy. Have you guys thought about that?
Yeah, there's a couple of tour talks happening right now. We're trying to wait to see if some sponsors are gonna fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But there's some things that are in the works right now. Big tours with other groups that we really fuck with.
Yep.
Something that makes sense.
Yeah.
We already got the cities lined up, all of that. But as far as like Richmond, I'm in Richmond every couple of months. And then after like the first 2 times I went out there to perform, I started getting my bros out there, bringing more and more bros from the umbrella, and try to plant our flag in Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's been working out. We working with artists out there. We shooting videos with niggas out there and collabing and creating relationships with people out there. So that's another hub for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every city we go to, we want to create a hub there.
Yeah.
And a network of people there. You know what I'm saying? And places to stay, studios to work at.
Yeah.
All of that shit.
Yeah.
All of that shit. That's how we got it in Richmond. When we go to Richmond, we got places to stay, food to eat, rides,
Yeah.
and we have a hub there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to recreate that in mad different spots. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm working on Virginia right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Now that's dope. I'm out from around there, right? So I'm from the DC area. I'm from the Northern Virginia area, right? And that, so like Richmond's 90 minutes from DC, right? But there's like so much talent out there, right? Because you've got the DC, the DMV cats, that whole sound, and right adjacent to Baltimore, J Royale, right? And all those cats out there, right? There's so much talent in Baltimore. Baltimore could be like, you know what I'm saying? That's so much talent in Baltimore.
Right.
Then you got Richmond and everything that's been popping in Richmond forever. Then you got the whole area where like Timberland and Missy Elliott and Clips and all those cats.
Newport News, you know what I'm saying? By the water, that's where they're from.
Yeah.
Like I have family in Norfolk. I'm in Norfolk all the time. Like, so it made sense for me to try to create a lane for myself there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Virginia's like a second home for me.
That's dope. Yeah.
And I want to create that same feeling for my brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really dope, man. That's dope. So when we first started off, we were talking about Reasonable Dirt and how that album, the album cover, the name of it, how that connected to, like a head nod in a sense to the Jay-Z album, Reasonable Doubt. Now, Jay had a whole career before Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt comes out when Rockefeller was popping, and he, that kind of launched him, right? You've had a tremendous career before the umbrella. And then your career at this point with several albums with the whole umbrella is together. Talk to us a little bit about Reasonable Dirt and how, where you're at in your career, what you see that album symbolizing.
Hold on, I'm gonna go out and come back in because I can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, sorry about that. So, what was the question? You said how it?
Yeah. When we first started off, we were talking about Reasonable Dirt, right? And how that album right now, that's like a bit of a head nod to Reasonable Doubt. And you find yourself in your career right now, when Jay-Z dropped Reasonable Doubt, he had a whole career. Like he was, incredibly well established as an MC. But then he comes out and drops Reasonable Doubt and launches the whole thing that the rest of the world knows him for, right? From that moment on. You've had a tremendous career prior to the umbrella. Now you've got a few albums out under the umbrella, and now you drop Reasonable Dirt. Can you talk to us about what Reasonable Dirt symbolizes to you at this point in your career?
I feel like I'm at that same point where that Hove was in his career. You know what I'm saying? Like that was Hove's first album, right? This is not my first album, but I feel like I'm in a transitional phase right now. I'm transitioning from just being like a run-of-the-mill rapper into one of them guys. I'm transitioning from being a street nigga into an artist. I'm transitioning from turning to a young man that was like uh, uh, um, preoccupied with foolish and worldly things into a grown man,
Mm.
that's thinking longevity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in a transitional phase now where it's like I want to take my money and invest it into myself and become even more of a bigger artist than I am now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've been doing, and I'm seeing dividends and changes. So like. I feel like reasonable dirt is very symbolic to me at this point because I feel like I'm right there. I'm on like the
Yeah.
crest of becoming great, and really, really, really like planting my own flag as pro Dillinger,
Yeah.
like where people talk about me forever. Like money's cool, but I'm chasing legacy
Yeah.
at this point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I want to be brought up in them conversations, like
Yeah.
when people are talking about who was the greatest or who was really putting on or who did this, that, and the third. I don't want that conversation to happen without my name being mentioned.
Good.
You I'm a legacy player. I want chips. I want rings.
Yeah.
I want banners in the rafters for my niggas.
Yeah.
Mad umbrella banners in the background.
Yeah.
Like that's why I play. The money's cool, but that money's always gonna be there as long as I
That's
can rap.
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why not chase greatness?
Yeah. That's good, man.
I'm already getting money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's good, man. And money's a thing that can come and go, right? But your legacy, like, you can't build it overnight. And when it's yours, they can't take it from you. You did that, you know?
Right.
And
I'm doing it.
yeah.
I'm trying to create digital footprints.
Mm.
So when I'm gone, I was here. You can see I was here. You can
Mm.
Google my name. You can YouTube my music. I'm leaving digital footprints so my babies know I was
Mm.
here and that they know that their father was somebody.
Mm. 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 That's good. That's good, man. You know, you talked about earlier how now you're more focused on the craft and on building this legacy and the umbrella. But before, you got into, being outside and doing stuff that a lot of us have gone through. We could hear it in your music. We could learn about it in the lyrics. We could hear about it in the passion and the way you spit is so dope because you put that emotion out there. You tell us the stories just enough, right? You don't need to show everything, just enough. How much of that hustler mentality, that street knowledge, how much of it has applied to what you're doing now, and what's changed, right? What's different now from when you were outside?
When I was in the streets, I wasn't a boss. I was just the boss of myself.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm a boss now. You know what I'm saying? I move everything around me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever whatever's up to me to control, I control it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's the biggest change from before. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't no kingpin when I was selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the top gangbanger in my gang when I was in a gang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just a run of the mill nigga. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I seen too much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but I felt like I had an outlet, and I'm only winning now because I stayed consistent with my outlet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If anything, just to have an outlet, because nobody want to be walking around with all that shit on their heart.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I think about all the niggas that's like me that can't rap.
That's good.
Like how do you express yourself? How do you keep all this shit off your chest? You know what I'm saying? Like I still walk around with a bunch of this shit, even though I have an outlet. I can rap about it, but
Yeah.
that shit don't always help. So I'm blessed, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And I'm still alive, I made it out.
Yeah. One of the things I hear people tell me all the time, especially like hip hop cats, they talk about, like hip hop saved my life. And they tell that story in different ways. Like one is like you know, um, if I didn't have this outlet, and if I wasn't in the studio, and if I wasn't, I'd be locked up or I'd be dead,
Yeah, I'll
right?
probably be a serial
Yeah.
killer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this shit it gives me a purpose. It gives me
Mm-hmm.
something to do. It
Mm-hmm.
gives me a schedule to keep, like all that,
Mm.
like let's just for transparency, like before we went live, you asked me if I wanted to reschedule. I said no. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let real life and what's happening outside of music
Yeah.
deter the things that I have to do to keep my career moving forward.
Yeah.
Even if it's talking to you for 8 people, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
You know, I'm obligated to my craft, and I'm respectful of my craft, and this is part of that.
Yeah. No, I respect that so much. You know what I mean? Also I've heard people talk about how hip hop saved their life in the sense that those stories that they heard, other oftentimes men coming in, from tough neighborhoods and poverty and where their fathers, were maybe not there or were incarcerated, and just hearing those stories helped them get through it, right? They received like knowledge of how other people handled it and made them tougher. The stories. I think your stories do that. I think there's people that hear your struggle and through your songs and the things you've gone through, and you're actually out there in a way edifying, right? You're building people up through your lyrics because you made it out and because you're making moves and because there's a resiliency in your perspective because of you've had to get tough, you know what I'm saying? And that affect, those of us who love hip hop, that's one of the things we love about it. It kind of makes us a little bit tougher hearing the stories when we go outside. We know that we can handle stuff. And you're doing that through your songs, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
Because that's called empowerment. You feel me?
yeah.
Like like my music is there's mad different like tones to it, but at a certain point it can seem like hopeless, like I make
Mm,
music for hopeless people.
mm,
But I feel like for those people, I I I make music that
mm,
empowers them.
mm,
Like you said, you know what I'm saying? Like if I could get through this, then you could get through that.
mm, mm.
I'm probably going through the same shit you going through, but just on a different level.
Yeah,
We all humans, bro. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And life isn't perfect.
Nah, man. Life is gonna beat you up. You know what I'm saying?
Life isn't perfect, and people aren't perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good, bro. So we talked about the Reasonable Dirt album that is banging, and we talked about potential upcoming tours and those conversations that you're having. 2024, we're going into the summer, and you're a prolific artist. You know what I'm saying? Are you planning on releasing any more projects this year?
Oh yeah, I'm dropping music probably all the way up until September, and then I'm not gonna rap anymore for the rest of the year.
All right,
But I got an EP about to drop, and then I have 2 albums with Future Wave dropping back to back.
that's dope. That's dope. Um, all umbrella folks from outside of the umbrella.
I work with some cats outside the umbrella. We have affiliates and guys that we created our own relationships with that we work with. I mean, it's pretty plain to see who we rock with, you know what I'm saying, and who rocks with us. And so we just work with them guys mostly. Same guys I always work with, Bub Styles, Ito, Daniel San, Daniel San's umbrella now though, so that's he family,
Yeah, that's
so
dope.
yeah. So it's just like, man, we work with who we work with, bro. Future Wave like family to us, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I got a lot of shit about to drop.
Yeah, that's dope, my man. Um, you know, uh, we talked about the album, the tour, future projects, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to ask you a little bit about, you shared with us earlier your background, right? So you're Puerto Rican and black. You talked to us a little bit about when you're not listening to hip hop, you're listening to Latin sounds. Talk to us about how that works its way into your music, right? Is there, any influence from the Latin realm of music into your sound, into, does it have an impact?
Yeah, I feel like, it might not be as apparent, as people would like it to be, but every once in a while I throw some Spanish into my
Hmm.
shit, you know what I mean? Or I work with a beat that might have a Latin influence to it or something like that. But our people, we really like drums. The drums itself is very motivating,
Yeah,
almost in a primal sense. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Black people or Hispanic people, you hear drums and it does something to you internally.
yeah,
So I feel like I'm very heavily influenced by Latin sounds and Latin music. It might not be apparent in my music, but you know, that's it's my culture. It's how I live my life on a daily basis.
yeah. The Do you speak Spanish?
I'm Spanish was my first language.
Okay, so you
Spanish was
fluent
my
in
first
Spanish.
language. I didn't learn English till like second grade.
Wow.
So now I understand Spanish fluently, but I don't speak it as well as I should or used to. I speak functional Spanish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean because both my parents are immigrants, and I was the same. Like I spoke Spanish first, but then you go to school, you start speaking
You
English,
forget all that
you
shit.
forget it all, and then like they talk to you in Spanish, you speak to them in English,
Right.
right? Right?
That's that's what jammed me up after, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what jammed me up,
yeah,
bro. But even now, like I speak Spanish, but it's functional Spanish. I don't have conversational Spanish.
yeah. The reason why I asked is because so I had the unique experience that in the 11th grade I got in a little bit of trouble, and I wind up going to Latin America and like living there and finishing high school out there, and kind of getting away
Right.
for a little bit, and learn Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But what's wild to me is the fans in Spanish speaking countries and the crowds and the shows and it's bananas. They
Yeah,
love
they go crazy.
they go crazy. So like, kind of like it happens in Europe too, right?
Mhm.
Y'all are rocking shows out here and it's dope. But if you go to Europe, you know what I'm saying? You're lining up venues across countries the way that major label cats have somebody do for them here. And
Yeah.
Latin America is kind of like that too. So oftentimes people that have, both languages do a little bit of crossover, throwing a couple of Spanish songs in there to open them up to a broader market. And that's why I was wondering if you had ever done anything like that.
Nah, but I would definitely be open to working with other hip hop artists like that make the same kind of music
Yeah,
as me, but from other countries.
yeah,
I've worked with dudes from Poland before, Russia. I've worked with a French rapper before. Like I've worked with other rappers from other
yeah,
countries. You feel me? But I would love to be recognized by a broader audience in a different market. You know what I'm saying? Especially a market that I know would embrace me as a Latin artist. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I think that would be dope.
yeah. That would be dope. That would be dope. That's there's a lot of there's a you got so much popping off that there's like so much room to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
I want to be like how Nori
yeah,
was. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Nori did that. Yeah, that's
You
good.
know?
The when you look at your discography is dope. But there's an album that stands out to me, which is called Dios es Amor, right?
Yeah.
Um, that the production on this crazy, and you really lit that up. Was there something different about that album? Can you talk to us about that project?
Yeah. Once again, heavily Latin, influence. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I work with my man Potato Guy. He's a Dominican producer from out here.
Yeah,
It's my man. I've been working with him for a very long time,
yeah,
since I was a child. Um, and at that point in my life, I was just very thankful for where I was and just really grateful to
yeah,
God. So
yeah.
I was like, you know what? It was my version of a gospel album.
Mm,
But,
mm,
you know what I'm saying? But with with those Hispanic feels to it, you know, talking about the Santos and lighting candles and, you know, Dios es amor, even the title, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, people don't catch shit like
Yeah.
that, you know, even some of the song titles were in Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the people don't catch shit like that, but I throw just enough of that Spanish shit in there where niggas know I'm Spanish too, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. That's dope.
But that album to me was real special. It was like a offering to God, you know, like, you know, it was like a thank you letter to God
That's beautiful.
because I was extremely grateful for where I was.
Peace, everybody. Looks like Pro Dillinger's connection dropped, and we're gonna see if we can bring him right. All right, for the folks still on, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna write him offline. I think his phone may have died or something like that, and we'll probably run it back with Pro Dillinger. So this will be live on YouTube in about a week. Salute.